Imagine this. One morning you wake up, and everything that once made sense doesn't. The job that gave you purpose disappears. The person you trusted turns away. The ground beneath your feet, the one you thought was solid, starts to crack. It feels like betrayal, like failure, like life itself is collapsing around you. But what if it isn't collapsing? What if it's rearranging? Buddhism teaches that nothing in existence happens without cause. Every event, every encounter, every heartbreak is part of a web, intricate, unseen, perfectly timed. We call it karma or Dharma. But in truth, it's the same quiet intelligence that turns a seed into a forest, that makes the sun rise without effort, that keeps your heart beating even when you've lost the will to go on. When life falls apart, it's easy to see only the ruins. But what if those ruins are the raw materials of your awakening? What if pain is not a punishment, but a recalibration, a force removing everything that cannot stay so that what is real can finally stand? Most people spend their lives asking, "Why is this happening to me?" But the wiser question, the one that changes everything, is, "What is this trying to teach me?" Because beneath the chaos there is a pattern, beneath the heartbreak there is guidance, and beneath the noise of your mind there is a deeper voice whispering, "Trust the process." In this journey, we will walk through the hidden architecture of your suffering. We'll uncover why pain visits your doorstep, why chaos is not your enemy, and why losing control may be the very thing that sets you free. So if you've ever found yourself staring at the sky and asking, "Why me? Why now?" stay. Because what you're about to discover may not take the pain away, but it might reveal why you needed it in the first place. Take a breath. This is not the end of your story. It's the moment your true path begins to unfold. Part 1. Pain, the silent language of transformation. Pain is a language life uses when words are not enough. It speaks in the only voice that can reach through the noise of our ambitions and illusions, the voice of loss, of endings, of aching silence. When the things you love are taken away, when what you built begins to crumble, pain is not simply knocking at your door to torment you. It's calling you to listen, to slow down, to wake up. We tend to think of pain as an intruder, an enemy to be defeated or suppressed. But in the Buddhist view, pain is neither good nor bad. It's information. It's the feedback loop of the universe reminding you where you are still clinging, where you are still blind. Just as the body uses pain to alert us to injury, the soul uses pain to reveal where we've mistaken attachment for love, control for stability, comfort for peace. The Buddha never promised a life without pain. He promised a path through it. And that path begins with understanding that pain is not a punishment, it is a teacher. Think of the times when life was easy, when everything seemed smooth, predictable, safe. Did you grow much then? Did you question deeply or change meaningfully? Probably not. Growth rarely happens in comfort. It happens when comfort is stripped away, when the ground shakes and the self you thought you were begins to dissolve. A seed must break before it sprouts. A caterpillar must dissolve inside its cocoon before it becomes a butterfly. Likewise, parts of you must die for something truer to be born. Yet our first instinct when pain comes is resistance. We want to escape, to rewind time, to beg life, to restore what we've lost. We think, if only this hadn't happened, I'd still be happy. But what if that's the very thought that keeps us trapped? The Buddha said, suffering is inevitable, but unnecessary suffering is optional. The pain itself is part of the flow of life. The suffering begins when we cling to the story around it, when we say, this shouldn't be happening to me. There's an old story told by Buddhist teachers. A young disciple came to his master, tears in his eyes. "Why is life so unfair to me?" he cried. "Why do I always suffer while others seem happy?" The master listened silently, then handed him a handful of salt. "Put this into a glass of water," he said. The student obeyed, stirred the water, and drank. He grimaced. "It's too bitter," he said. Then the master led him to a vast lake and told him to throw the same salt into it. "Now drink from the lake," he said. The disciple knelt, scooped up some water, and tasted it. This time he smiled. The master looked at him and said, "Pain is like this handful of salt. The bitterness does not change. What changes is where you place it. If you want your pain to taste less bitter, expand your sense of self, become the lake." That is the essence of transformation. When you live inside a small, constricted sense of me, every loss feels unbearable, every insult feels personal, every disappointment pierces like a sword. But when your awareness expands, when you begin to see yourself not as a single story but as part of a vast unfolding, pain becomes lighter, more spacious, less defining. You realize that what hurts today may, in time, become the very thing that frees you. Pain is the chiseling force of life. It carves away what is false, sharpens what is real, and reveals the strength that was hidden beneath your comfort. When we resist pain, we remain raw stone. When we allow it to do its work, we emerge as sculpture, refined, shaped, awake. If you reflect honestly, you might see that the moments that broke you also built you. That heartbreak taught you empathy. That failure taught you resilience. That illness taught you gratitude for breath. None of it was wasted. The universe wastes nothing. So the next time you find yourself standing in the storm, when the waves rise and the sky darkens, pause before you, curse your fate. Ask instead, what is this pain trying to teach me? What illusion is it asking me to release? What strength is it trying to awaken? When you stop fighting pain, it loses its power to hurt you. It becomes a portal, not a prison. Through that doorway, you begin to discover who you truly are, not the person shaped by pleasure, but the one forged by truth. And maybe, just maybe, you'll come to see that pain was never your enemy at all. It was your most honest companion, patiently guiding you back to yourself. Part 2. Chaos, the architect of becoming. Chaos has a way of entering our lives uninvited. It doesn't knock. It doesn't ask for permission. One day everything flows predictably, and the next something snaps. The plan collapses. The relationship ends. The health fades. The world you once trusted fractures into 1,000 uncertain pieces. You call it disaster. The Buddha would call it impermanence. In truth, chaos is not the destroyer we think it is. It is the architect of becoming. Beneath every breakdown is a blueprint of rebirth. The structures of your old identity must crumble so that a larger, wiser version of you can emerge. Comfort, for all its sweetness, is deceptive. It wraps you in a cocoon of safety. But that same cocoon can become a tomb if you refuse to outgrow it. Life, in its fierce compassion, tears it open for you. Think about the moments that truly changed you. Did they arrive gently, or did they come disguised as chaos, an unexpected ending, a sudden loss, a crisis you didn't see coming? Real transformation rarely begins with peace. It begins with rupture. Like an earthquake revealing the foundation beneath the surface, chaos exposes what you've been building your life upon. Sometimes it's solid, often it's not. Buddhism teaches that everything in this world is subject to anicca, the law of constant change. Nothing stays fixed, not even the parts of us we cling to most tightly. Yet, the human The mind resists this truth with every fiber of its being. We crave control, predictability, and permanence, but life, by design, refuses to give it. So when chaos arrives, we panic. We think something's gone wrong, when in fact, something profound is being made right. There is a parable about a butterfly struggling to break free from its cocoon. A young disciple, moved by compassion, decided to help. He carefully tore the cocoon open, freeing the creature inside. But when the butterfly emerged, its wings were weak and crumpled. It could not fly. The master turned to the disciple and said, "Do you see? The struggle was necessary. It was the resistance that gave its wings strength." We are no different. Without resistance, without the tension between what is and what was, we remain undeveloped. Chaos pushes us into discomfort because that's where growth hides. It strips away what is false, revealing the unshakable core beneath. It humbles the ego, silences the illusion of control, and teaches us to find grace in uncertainty. So the question is not, how do I escape chaos? But what is chaos trying to create through me? When the ground falls away, life is asking you to grow wings. When people leave, it is teaching you to stand on your own center. When plans fail, it is reminding you that meaning isn't found in certainty, it's found in presence. If you look back, you'll see this pattern clearly. The heartbreak that shattered you once opened your capacity to love more deeply. The job that ended redirected you to something more authentic. The illness that frightened you awakened gratitude for every breath. Chaos never arrives to destroy. It arrives to reconfigure, to realign, to awaken. In Zen, they say, the obstacle is the path. That is not poetic optimism, it's spiritual realism. Every obstacle, every sudden storm, is life's way of chiseling away at what you are not, so that your truer self can step forward. The mind resists, but the soul recognizes the wisdom of destruction. So the next time your plans dissolve, resist the urge to call it failure. Sit in the ashes for a moment, breathe, watch what survives the burning. What remains when everything else is gone, that is who you are. That is what cannot be taken. Chaos, then, is not a curse, but a cosmic correction. It dismantles what no longer serves your evolution and demands that you rise as something new. The storm doesn't come to drown you. It comes to teach you how to breathe underwater. Part 3. Dharma, the invisible order. There are moments when life feels like pure chaos, when nothing aligns, when every door you knock on stays closed, when all your plans unravel at once. You look around and think, there is no order here, only randomness. But Buddhism teaches that behind this apparent disorder lies a deeper harmony, a silent choreography that holds everything together. That harmony is Dharma. Dharma is not simply a word or a doctrine. It is the hidden architecture of the universe, the way things naturally move toward balance. It's the current that carries the river to the ocean, the rhythm that turns the seasons without fail, the intelligence that keeps your heart beating through both joy and grief. You don't have to control it. You only have to align with it. Yet human beings struggle with this truth. We want control, certainty, guarantees. We cling to our timelines and expectations, mistaking predictability for peace. But Dharma does not obey our calendars. It unfolds according to its own mysterious rhythm, never too early, never too late. Like a flower that blooms in its appointed season, everything in your life is also blooming right on time, even the pain, especially the pain. There's an old story about a man caught in a fierce storm at sea. He fought the waves with all his strength, thrashing to stay afloat, gasping for breath, terrified of drowning. The harder he resisted, the more he sank. Exhausted, he finally gave up and allowed himself to float. In that moment of surrender, the current carried him gently back to shore. That is the essence of Dharma. The moment you stop fighting life, life begins to carry you. Surrender, in this sense, is not defeat, it's trust. It's the quiet recognition that you are part of something infinitely wise, something that knows how to move even when you do not. When we ignore that wisdom, when we resist what is, life corrects us. It starts gently, a whisper, a delay, a discomfort. If we don't listen, the signals grow louder, a loss, a conflict, a breakdown, not as punishment, but as redirection. Life will use any means necessary to bring you back into alignment with your true path. Every ending, every disappointment, every rejection is a form of guidance. So when something leaves your life, a job, a person, an opportunity, don't rush to fill the void. Sit with it. Look closer. Perhaps what's leaving is what was blocking your growth. Perhaps the delay you curse today is saving you from a smaller destiny. The universe does not waste energy, it rearranges it. In one ancient parable, a king demanded that his advisor explain why life was so unpredictable. The advisor said nothing. Instead, he took the king to a river and asked him to stop its flow with his hands. The king tried, but the water slipped through his fingers and continued downstream. The advisor smiled. "Life is like this river," he said. "You can try to control it, but in the end, it will flow as it must. Your choice is not to stop it, but to move with it. To live in Dharma is to stop fighting the current. It doesn't mean passivity. It means wise action, to act without clinging to results, to do your part and then let go. The Taoists call it Wu Wei, effortless action. The Buddhists call it right effort, doing what is necessary, but without attachment. In both paths, the truth is the same. Peace is born, not from control, but from cooperation with the natural order. If you look back at your own life, you can see this rhythm at work. Think of the times when something you wanted so desperately didn't happen, only for something better to appear later. Think of the detours that led you to the very people or insights that changed you most. Dharma has always been guiding you, whether you recognized it or not. When you begin to trust that guidance, something extraordinary happens. Fear loosens its grip. You stop chasing and start listening. You no longer demand that life conform to your will. You let it reveal its design. You discover a peace that isn't based on outcomes, but on alignment. The poet Rumi once wrote, "When you let go of who you are, you become what you might be." That is Dharma, the invisible order that knows exactly what to take, what to give, and when to do both. So when life shifts beneath your feet, when uncertainty floods in, remember this: the river has never forgotten where it's going. Breathe, trust the current, because what feels like falling apart is often Dharma putting you back together. Part 4. The illusion of control. From the moment we are born, we are taught to control. Control your emotions, your schedule, your future. Work harder, plan smarter, organize better, because if you do, life will unfold exactly as you wish. That's the myth we are all raised on, that certainty equals safety. But one day, something happens that shatters that illusion. The plan unravels, the relationship ends. The unexpected storm arrives, and all the control you've clung to slips through your fingers like sand. We call it failure. But in truth, it is initiation, the moment life reveals how little we ever truly controlled. Buddhism has a name for this delusion: clinging. The belief that by gripping tighter, we can stop impermanence from moving. But impermanence moves anyway. It does not ask for your permission. It simply follows its nature. The river flows, the wind shifts, the seasons turn. Only the human mind resists, insisting that things should stay the same. And from that insistence, suffering is born. The illusion of control is subtle because it hides behind good intentions. You plan to protect your family, to secure your success, to ensure your happiness. These are not wrong desires, they're simply misplaced faith. You're placing faith in certainty when life is built on change. The Buddha taught that everything conditioned will decay. To depend on the impermanent for peace is to build a house on sand and then curse the tide for coming in. There's an old story of a monk who lived alone on a mountain. One evening, a villager climbed up to warn him, "A great storm is coming. You must leave before it's too late." The monk smiled and said, "If the storm comes, I will welcome it." The man was alarmed. "But you might die." The monk looked at the darkening sky and replied calmly, "If I die, I accept death. If I live, I accept life." That is not fatalism, it's freedom. Because the monk understood that the power of control is an illusion, but the power of acceptance is real. When you try to control life, you exhaust yourself. You swim against the current, believing that effort alone will bend reality to your will. But life has never obeyed our scripts. It moves through us, not for us. The Taoists call it Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means moving with the flow instead of against it. Like a sailor adjusting his sails to catch the wind, you can steer your direction, but you cannot command the wind to blow. Control creates tension. Trust creates grace. Control demands perfection. Trust welcomes imperfection as part of the path. When you finally understand this, something softens inside you. You stop needing to know every outcome. You stop measuring your worth by how closely reality matches your plans. You begin to live, not as a manager of circumstances, but as a participant in a dance, one where sometimes you lead and sometimes you follow. If you reflect on your life, you'll see this truth everywhere. The relationship that ended against your will taught you self-respect. The job that vanished pushed you toward your purpose. The delay you once cursed became the detour that saved you. You didn't plan those things. They happened because life's intelligence was always greater than your strategy. The hands that once clenched in fear begin to open, not in surrender to defeat, but in surrender to wisdom. So, what does letting go really mean? It means trusting that you can act without attachment to results. It means giving your best effort, but not demanding the universe to follow your timing. It means accepting that peace isn't found in control, but in cooperation with the unknown. Think of a bamboo tree in a storm. It bends but doesn't break. It yields to the wind, yet remains rooted. That's true strength, not rigidity, but flexibility. Not resistance, but trust. The moment you release your need to control, the world stops feeling like an enemy. You stop drowning in your own expectations and begin to float in life's rhythm. You discover a calm that no certainty could ever give you, the calm of knowing that whatever comes, you'll meet it with grace. Peace isn't when you master the storm. Peace is when the storm no longer masters you. Part 5. Awakening. Life as your teacher. There is a moment in every spiritual journey when you stop searching for peace somewhere else and begin to recognize that life itself has been teaching you all along. Not the books, not the gurus, not the perfect retreats or the sacred mountains, but the mess, the noise, the heartbreak, the confusion. Everything you have lived through was a classroom disguised as chaos. Every joy and sorrow, a lesson wrapped in impermanence. Buddhism teaches that enlightenment is not an escape from life. It is intimacy with it. It's not about transcending the world, but seeing it clearly, without distortion. The path to awakening doesn't begin when life becomes quiet. It begins when you learn to stay awake within the noise. Most of us spend our days wishing things were different, waiting for the next chapter, the next certainty, the next version of ourselves that finally feels enough. But awakening begins the moment you stop running and whisper to yourself, "This too is my path." Think about the times that shaped you the most. Were they easy, or were they the nights you couldn't sleep, the losses that hollowed you out, the failures that forced you to begin again? Growth doesn't come from comfort, it blooms from friction. Just as the lotus must push through mud to reach the light, we too must pass through darkness to remember our own radiance. The mud is not separate from the flower, it's what makes the flower possible. The Buddha once said, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional." We cannot avoid pain, it is part of being human. But suffering comes from resistance, from insisting that life should obey our expectations. Awakening happens when we shift our question from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single shift turns us from victims of life to students of it. When we stop demanding answers and begin to observe, life reveals meaning on its own. There's a Zen saying, "Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water." At first, this sounds ordinary, almost disappointing, but its meaning is profound. Enlightenment doesn't change what you do, it changes how you see. The same daily routines, the same relationships, the same imperfections become luminous when observed with awareness. You realize that nothing is mundane. Every act, breathing, walking, washing dishes, grieving is a mirror of the sacred, if you do it with presence. The ego wants grand awakenings, visions, bliss, fireworks. But true awakening is quieter than that. It's when you can sit with your fear without needing to fix it. When you can look at someone who hurt you and no longer carry their shadow in your heart. When you can experience pain without collapsing into it. It's the unremarkable miracle of being fully here. Think of the river again. Its calm stretches are gentle and serene, but it's the rapids that teach you how to steer. In the same way, life's turbulence shows you what your spiritual practice truly is. It's easy to be kind when everything flows your way. It's harder to stay compassionate when you're angry, rejected, or afraid, and that's when awakening deepens. Your triggers are not obstacles, they are mirrors. Each one points you to a place within that is still asking for love. If you look closely, you'll see that life has been whispering lessons in every direction. The friend who betrayed you taught you the power of boundaries. The illness that slowed you down taught you the value of rest. The failure that embarrassed you taught you humility. Even your loneliness taught you that peace cannot be outsourced. It has to be grown within. You didn't need a monastery. You needed this messy, unpredictable, beautiful existence. Awakening is remembering that you were never separate from truth. You've just been too distracted to notice. The divine doesn't hide it, speaks through ordinary moments, through the faces of strangers, through the ache in your chest when you realize how fragile everything is. Every loss is a teacher. Every ending is a beginning in disguise. And every breath is an invitation to return home to awareness, to presence, to now. So, if life feels heavy today, if you are facing something you don't understand, don't rush to escape it. Stay, observe, let life show you its lesson, because one day you will look back and realize that everything you resisted was preparing you for the peace you now carry. You are not here to control the world, you are here to learn from it. You are not here to become someone new. You are here to remember who you have always been beneath the noise, the witness, the awareness, the stillness behind it all. That realization is awakening. Not an ending, but a return. Not a destination, but a homecoming. Part 6. The stillness after the storm. When the storm finally passes, there is a strange quiet that follows. Not silence exactly, but a hum, a faint vibration of life continuing. The world looks the same, yet nothing feels the same. The trees still sway, the sky still shifts, but you are no longer the same person who entered the storm. Something in you has softened, something in you has learned to bow. The greatest peace does not come from avoiding the storm. It comes from surviving it and realizing you were never truly in danger. The wind only tore away what was never meant to stay. What remains now is essence, stripped, bare, simple. You begin to see how every wave that once frightened you was, in truth, carrying you closer to shore. Every ending was a gentle hand turning the page. Every loss was a kind of cleansing. Buddhism calls this awareness nirvana, not a place, but a state of freedom. It's not about escaping pain, but no longer being enslaved by it. You've seen that everything is impermanent, yet within that impermanence there is something unshakable. The quiet watcher, the still witness inside you. It has been there all along, observing your joy and sorrow without judgment. When you finally rest in that awareness, you discover a peace that no chaos can touch. Sit with that feeling. The rain has stopped. The air smells new. You are not rushing to rebuild anymore. You are learning to simply be. The mind may still search for meaning, but the heart already understands. The lesson was never about fixing your life. It was about remembering your depth, your resilience, your capacity to begin again. If you listen closely, you'll notice how stillness has its own language. It speaks in breath. It speaks in gratitude. It speaks in the gentle realization that nothing was wasted, not one tear, not one heartbreak, not one sleepless night. Every fragment of your journey belongs. Every scar is proof of life lived fully. You are standing now at the center of the same world, but with new eyes. You no longer crave certainty because you have found something better, trust. You no longer seek perfection because you understand beauty lives in imperfection. You no longer fear endings because you know they are simply beginnings in disguise. Take a slow breath. Feel how life continues effortlessly through you and around you. The same current that carries rivers to the sea moves quietly through your veins. You were never separate from it. You never had to fight it. You only had to remember that peace is not something you chase. It is what rises when the chasing stops. So when the next storm comes, and it will welcome it like an old friend, you know now it is not here to harm you, but to remind you of your strength. Let it pass through you, and afterward, return again to the stillness. Because in the end, peace is not found in the absence of storms, but in the presence of stillness within them. And that stillness, it's you.